Can you imagine building a 70,000 square foot mansion just to use as a weekend getaway? Hi everyone, Ken here. Today we're visiting the Vanderbilt family's idle hour. Hit that subscribe button and let's explore this house. William K. Vanderbilt was the grandson of the legendary Commodore Cornelius Vanderbilt, whose railroad empire catapulted the family into immense wealth. By the late 1800s, William sought a country retreat away from the bustling life outside of his petit chateau on Manhattan's Fifth Avenue. He already had a summer cottage in Newport, but he wanted something close that he could slip away to on a whim. Drawn by Oakdale's charm and the leisure pursuits offered by the Southside Sportsman's Club, he decided to build a cabin in the woods, so to say, on nearby Long Island. With discretion necessary to avoid inflating local property prices, he assembled an impressive 862-acre estate dense with lush forest and unspoiled ponds. In 1878, Vanderbilt commissioned renowned architect Richard Morris Hunt to create the first iteration of Idle Hour, a stunning wooden Tudor Revival mansion. Lavish gatherings, grand parties, and leisurely weekends defined life at this retreat. However, tragedy struck in 1899 when the mansion burned to the ground during the honeymoon of Vanderbilt's son, although thankfully no one was harmed. Undeterred, Vanderbilt swiftly rebuilt, determined this time to make Idle Hour entirely fireproof. He enlisted Richard Morris Hunt's son, Richard Halland Hunt, to design a new residence that would rise like a phoenix from the ashes. Completed in 1901, this second mansion became an architectural marvel crafted from red tapestry brick, sandstone, and marble, epitomizing the refined English country aesthetic. Ensuring disaster would never strike again, Vanderbilt even installed underground tunnels to supply electricity and steam heat from a separate power plant far removed from the main house. Idle Hour became a favorite spot for high society, hosting both elaborate parties and quiet weekends spent fishing and boating from Vanderbilt's private mahogany dock. The estate even boasted an indoor tennis court designed by the famed architectural firm Warren & Wetmore, featuring ivy-clad walls and cooling stone fountains, a true rarity at the time. Idle Hour's interiors exuded sophistication, showcasing intricately carved woodwork imported from France, 24-karat gold accents, and walls draped in lavish silk tapestries and velvet. The mansion featured 110 meticulously designed rooms, each space embodying Vanderbilt's taste for European luxury. Entering the mansion, we swing open the heavy double doors and step into the vestibule clad floor to ceiling in marble. Directly ahead of us, we see the view that was planned by the architect for the hall. William wanted something a bit less formal, so the barrel-vaulted ceiling was ditched in favor of exposed wood beams. As we move in closer, we get a glimpse of the grand staircase twisting beyond the arcade. We'll get a much better look at this later when we head upstairs. For now, we'll turn to the right, where we see how the architect imagined the living hall. Here, William chose to stay pretty true to the initial design. Large windows flank each wall, allowing natural light to add depth to the artisan plaster ceilings appearing to pierce the air above us. But perhaps the most eye-catching element in this room is the fireplace at the very end, which includes the bellows of a built-in pipe organ which is hidden away behind the chimney. To the right of the fireplace, we find the white and gold salon, with intricate plasterwork gilded with 24-karat gold. Had we gone to the other side of the fireplace, we would have found the library with built-in bookcases crowned by intricate carvings. We're now going to make a circle around the courtyard, following the cloister all the way to the end. This leads us to the palm court, where tropical plants could be grown year-round in high humidity. The tennis courts we saw earlier extend off the back of the palm court, as well as guest rooms for William's bachelor friends. Let's take a quick look at the floor plan once again, just to orient ourselves and make our way down the other cloister back towards the main house. Once here, we find a long corridor and follow it until we see an opening beyond a Gothic screen. This leads us into the smoking room, which could also be set up as a game room and billiards room. We can imagine William hanging out here with guests, having cigars over a game of cards after a long day of fishing. Continuing down the corridor, we head back towards the hall to find the dining room as our last stop on the first floor. While this small table might look a little silly in this grand space, it could seat dozens of guests when all the leaves were fitted to the table. The centerpiece of this room was the fireplace, which featured a finely sculpted figure of Diana, the Roman goddess associated with the hunt, rendered in brilliant white marble. Finally, we've come full circle in the house, stepping back out into the hall. As promised, we'll continue towards the grand staircase to see one of the most inspired architectural wonders in the house. The newel post is crowned by a grotesque, rising proudly above intricate carvings with a centuries-old European tapestry acting as its backdrop. As we head up a few stairs, we pass behind the gargoyle and get a closer look at the incredible woodwork all around us, taking inspiration from the Jacobean style, all being composed of quartered oak. Reaching the top of the staircase, we'll take a look at the floor plan for this level before continuing on, noting that it consists primarily of just bedrooms. Just as an example of what the bedrooms look like, they were all finished out with only the most fashionable furnishings of the time, with more than enough space to spread out. After Vanderbilt's passing in 1920, Idlehour witnessed a colorful history. It briefly became a haven for bohemian artists, and even played host to notorious gangster Dutch Schultz during Prohibition. Later in 1963, the estate transitioned into an educational institution, serving as Dowling College until its closure in 2016. Despite surviving another significant fire in 1974, Idlehour today faces the ongoing threat of neglect or alteration. Thankfully, recent preservation efforts by the town of Islip have placed additional protective zoning on the property, ensuring Idlehour's historic legacy continues for future generations. Today, Idlehour remains a remarkable symbol of the grandeur of a bygone era, echoing the fascinating story of one family's ambition, their unparalleled wealth, and the captivating allure of Long Island as an idyllic weekend retreat. And with that, I'll turn it over to you. What did you think about Idlehour? Did you have a favorite room, or maybe something else stuck out to you? Either way, let me know down below in the comments section. And while you're there, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss a fascinating episode of This House.